Ahead of his spring statement here at Westminster a few hours ago, Rishi Sunak told cabinet colleagues that he was determined to show British voters he was on their side. Well, on the face of it, it does look like he'd dusted off his old giveaway Chancellor routine, which we first saw during the COVID pandemic, announcing one very big tax cut now and one in the future. Let's take his announcement on national insurance first. What he announced today was a plan to raise the threshold at which people start paying national insurance by £3,000, bringing it into line with income tax at around £12,500, which will mean an effective tax cut for the typical worker of around £300 a year from July, a move which the Treasury costed about £6 billion, so not small change. And then secondly, and perhaps the even more headline-grabbing move, was the announcement to cut income tax, the basic rate of income tax, by 1 pence in the pound from 20 pence to 19 pence from 2024, which incidentally is the year when we're all expecting the next general election. On top of that, there was the well-trailed move to cut fuel duty by 5 pence a litre, which was designed to show that the Chancellor was listening to the concerns which people have over rising energy and fuel bills at the moment. But if you dig a little bit deeper, perhaps this statement today was not as generous as it first appeared. Firstly, let's take the national insurance move. What Rishi Sunak was facing pressure to do today was actually defer or scrap the planned 1.25 percentage point rise in national insurance, which kicks in from next month, and which will raise around £12 billion for the health service and for social care. So on the one hand, he was pressing ahead with a £12 billion tax rise, at the same time as announcing a £6 billion tax cut. Secondly, he obviously had quite a lot of fiscal headroom to play with, thanks to rising tax receipts, which are partly fueled by the inflation we're seeing at the moment. The Office for Budget Responsibility, the fiscal watchdog, calculated that he had about £20 billion to play with. In the end, he chose to spend just half of that, about £10 billion, on tax cuts and other measures to try and alleviate the cost of living crisis, to reduce taxes, and he banked the other £10 billion to keep the public finances on track. There was also some gloomy forecasts from the OBR, which are worth pointing out. One was that they forecast that living standards are set to fall at the fastest rate this year on record, going right back to the mid-1950s, and that the tax burden, we know, is also going to rise to its highest level in 70 years. Inflation is projected to maybe get to as high as nearly 9% by the fourth quarter of this year, and the OBR also downgraded economic growth from around 6% to something in the order of 3.8%. So there was lots of bad news within this forecast as well. Now, Rishi Sunak was trying to tell people that there will be better times ahead, that the public finances need to stay on track so that he can start to ease the burden on people further down the track. But given that he did have that fiscal headroom to play with, there are those here at Westminster who are wondering whether he's missed an opportunity today to make people's lives a lot easier as they face some very, very tough times ahead.